find Nightcrawler still knocked out as he's being carried by a group of small men who note that the battle with the X-Men, Juggernaut, and Black Tom is over, with the villains having won. One of the men notices Nightcrawler coming too, and another yells for them to keep him still and quiet, but it proves too much for the group. Trying to gather himself and recognize his surroundings as he last remembers fighting Juggernaut, Kurt notices the group of little people and, seeing their ears, recognizes what they are despite the impossibility. Looking down at the leprechauns, he asks his friends what happened to them when Eamon O'Donnell appears, telling that they've been captured. He explains how Kurt's friends are in danger, but so is his own family, and how merely a month ago, Black Tom returned to the castle with Juggernaut. He tells that by taking his family hostage, he was forced to obey them, and mentions how Tom took orders from a man in red armor with a horned helmet. Doing the only thing he could, he got a message out to Sean's lawyer. Suspecting who the boss might be, he decides that they need a plan when one of the leprechauns asks how he disappeared in the shadows, though Kurt denies he has any such ability. Wanting to test it though, he sticks his hand in the shadows and is amazed to find that it does indeed become invisible. Testing it further, he goes completely into the dark, and Eamon remarks how only his eyes are visible, but that he can still be felt when one of the small men appear, crying that the X-Men are in the laboratory getting ready to be tortured. Crying out, he demands to know how to reach them, scaring the man in the process when Eamon leads the way, hoping they reach them in time, and upon getting there, watch from a window into the room. He comments on how his family and friends are behind the lab in the dungeons, as they hear Black Tom soothe Juggernaut's temper over Nightcrawler escaping as he prepares to begin torturing the heroes who are all subdued, and puts on a gauntlet. Marco insists that he can hurt them plenty, but Black Tom disputes him as their bodies can only take so much physical pain before they die, whereas his gauntlet attacks their minds, allowing them to be tormented forever, as he demonstrates on Storm, and that Charles will do anything to prevent that. Hearing that it's the professor they want, Kurt grabs his image inducer, concocting a plan, and asking Eamon to send his body to the school if anything goes wrong. Teleporting into the laboratory, he appears behind the villains as Charles Xavier, to the shock of Kane. Charging forward, Juggernaut yells that they want him dead as he crashes into the machines, with Nightcrawler dodging out of the way. Standing, Kurt mocks Kane on how he now needs help to ambush the X-Men, and continues doing so as he dodges another attack, but Black Tom becomes suspicious as he recalls his friend telling him that his brother was crippled. Before he can say much more, Nightcrawler vaults over a panel and kicks Black Tom square in the chest. The villain reacts swiftly, firing a blast from his cane, forcing Nightcrawler to jump and stick to the wall, and seeing this, Juggernaut realizes that it's not his brother but Kurt himself, and in a rage strikes the wall, scattering the debris out into the surrounding countryside. Storm, keeping track of the fight, sees the opening to the wide open skies outside, and forgetting her claustrophobia, begins summoning the winds to her. The fearsome gale turns into a hurricane, freeing the captives of their restraints, though Juggernaut manages to latch onto Banshee. Ecstatic to finally be away from the confines of the stone walls of the keep, Storm soars into the air as Wolverine yells for her to let Colossus and himself down, which she does rather violently. Turning to Peter, Wolverine confides that he fears she's gone crazy, but Peter sees that she is merely happy. Back in the lab, the leprechaun captives are free, and they sneak past the two villains as Black Tom berates Juggernaut for losing his temper as the giant man apologizes. On their way out, they find Nightcrawler, who the leader tells the others they are honor-bound to save. Outside, Wolverine has Colossus trying to break his boot restraints, but to no avail. Storm offers to try, but Wolverine is doubtful when she easily picks the lock, telling him that she used to be the best lockpick in Cairo, but will finish the story later after they've saved their friends. Back with Black Tom, him and his partner are heading to the top of the castle as Juggernaut asks if he plans on tossing his cousin over the side, which he learns will be a last resort as Tom wants to talk first. Shouting down to the X-Men, he warns that if they want their friend back that they'll have to come to him, otherwise he'll die, and the heroes know it's a trap, though they have no choice as Colossus worries about Nightcrawler as well. Prepared to fight for her friend, Storm flies upward as Wolverine yells that she'll just get herself killed going by herself, as he shouts that they have no way to follow her. Colossus, though, grabs hold of the Canadian and launches him towards the ramparts. Disappointed that he can't follow the same way, he begins climbing the wall itself, embedding his hand in the stone, as Juggernaut sees that he's an easy target by doing that. Up above, Storm barely dodges a laser blast as weapons emerge from the castle turrets and is thankful for her time in the danger room as Juggernaut rips off one of the crenellations to toss down at Colossus, who is slowly working his way up. Seeing this, Storm despairs as she must deal with the laser turrets before helping her teammate as her powers begin warping the weather all around, creating a massive squall. Turning to Wolverine, he's irritated as Colossus threw him too far and he landed on the opposite side of the castle when one of the leprechauns appeared to lead him to the fight, though he refuses to believe that the little man is real but grudgingly follows anyway. Back with Juggernaut, he's trying to strike down Storm but can't as she's too fast, as Black Tom reports that the computers are homing in on her. Sean can only watch as his friends fight when Nightcrawler appears and frees him. However, they're spotted but not before Banshee removes his restraints. Before the Juggernaut can charge, though, Sean blasts the floor, dropping him down below, where upon recovering, cries out that as soon as he's back up, he's back in the fight. The other X-Men, though, stop him, but Kane is confident that the battle will go as it did before. Back with Sean, he chases after his cousin, who, after sliding through a door, attempts to surprise him, but Banshee manages to dodge the strike. Grabbing his sword, Sean begins the battle as they start dueling, their powers useless against each other. Black Tom gains the upper hand, though, when Sean sees his friend struggling against Kane, allowing Tom to break his sword. As the scoundrel prepares to strike the final blow, Sean launches a final desperate attack, launching the two of them over the side, though Banshee is able to save himself as he watches his cousin fall towards the rocky waters below. Shocked at seeing his friend in danger, Juggernaut barrels through the X-Men, jumping into the sea after him, vowing revenge if he's dead. Swallowed up by the waters as well, Storm then begins dispersing the dangerous weather around them. Elsewhere, Eric the Red is receiving orders that Princess Naramani will reach Earth soon and must not contact the X-Men. Promising it will be done, he reveals that he has a new ally in the team's oldest and deadliest foe.